There's just two things in life. You have what you can control and what you don't control. You don't control the externals. You don't control people, what's going on in the environment, in the world. Really, to a certain extent, you don't really have control of what's going to happen with your body. We can live well and we can make good choices.
You can guide it as well as you think,
But at some point, something's going to happen. And we don't control that, but we do control this. We have control over this. So when I start talking about gut health, you basically want to create a rainforest in your gut and your intestines. So if you look at a rainforest, a vast array of multiple different plants, trees, an array of life. And what ultra-processed foods or processed foods at any level, what it's doing is basically deriving our gut and our intestines of that rainforest. So it's stripping it away, almost a bit like us as humans are doing to the rainforest today, which then has that direct effect to our cognitive function. We need to come back to the fundamentals of what that food looks like, and it's stuff that came out the ground, off a tree, out the oceans, or ran across the ground. Progress so quickly to processed foods, our bodies are going, whoa, what is this?
The world's bad, the world's collapsing and stuff. Well, that's actually what happened.
I definitely found myself in that position for some months, going, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? And then I found Stoic philosophy and different mindset structures, and meditation and journaling, and the importance of being outside and going for a walk as it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I had those subconscious skills and awareness that pulled me back.
Please just let me stop you there for a second. I just want to, first of all, say, thank you for following the podcast. It is such a massive response that we get off these podcasts, and they're getting better and better. So first of all, I want to say thank you. But secondly, I want to give you something for free. Okay, I've been speaking a lot about consistency at the moment with people, and people struggle to keep that consistency. They set a goal, they get frustrated, they don't understand sort of like the infrastructure of how it works. And then they start digging into that, start to make momentum, but then drop off and lose their consistency. And I see this so often with things. Maybe you're thinking this for yourself right now. So if you DM me on Instagram and ask me for the consistency link, I'll send it across to you. It's a fresh video that I've made last week where I take you through in depth how to really build a momentum of consistency for you in everything that you do. And you can really apply it to anything in the world. Anything that you attack with consistency, this matters, and it will fix anything that you're working on with that. So just quite simply go to Instagram and just drop me a message and just say, hey Dean, can you send me the consistency? Hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. Okay, John, my brother.
How you doing?
Good, my man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And just so everyone knows, you're not called John, my brother. John Beetison. But no, it's been a long time since we've been face to face.
Yeah.
What would you say? 10?
I was trying to think the other day.
No, it's got to be longer. No, about 10 years.
I think it's about 10 years. Yeah. We're talking about Croatia.
Yeah. So I've had this gym 10 years this month.
Okay.
And I know it was in and around that time. It might be 9 years. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But this is an amazing setup you got here.
Appreciate it, my man.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's warmer than out in the gym, so at least we've got some heat in there.
This is what you get through blood, sweat, and tears.
It is, and also just for the record, this happened like a drop of a hat. I decided one night I'm going to do a podcast.
It's not like you.
And then, no, I know. I don't know what got into it. I think I was drunk. But yeah, no, it's been amazing. But mate, thanks for coming over, and obviously wicked to have a chat. But just for the guys obviously listening, watching, and also just to make note, if you are not watching and didn't know it was on YouTube, because some people still don't know we're on YouTube as well. If you wanted to watch and see how good looking these guys are that I get on here.
About that.
So yeah, jump on YouTube as well. But yeah, just for the guys listening then, who are you? Just very briefly, because we're going to go into depth anyway, but who are you? What do you do?
Well, basically, mate, since leaving school, I'm a coach. I'm someone that, like yourself, just likes to help. And has this knowledge and feeling that they can help people and have a real good effect on a person, a lasting effect. So I've been a coach and a mentor in many different roles. So I've started off in football predominantly. So I worked at West Bromwich Albion for my sins. They're my club though. So I was there for about 10 years coaching.
Nice.
And then I
went doing what? Sorry.
So it was grassroots football.
So you were actually coaching the football?
Yeah,
Nice.
coaching football and grassroots, going out
I never
into
knew that.
schools. And then I did a bit in the academy, because this was around when academies starting to be a thing.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it was for my boyhood club. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, of course, man.
Watching the game, getting to know the players and being around the players, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Then I went into education. So I was working in a school, PE teacher. I'm not a qualified PE teacher, but as a coach. Did that, and then thought, I need to do more here. I can do more, so I opened a gym. And had a gym over in Coventry. And it was good. It was hard graft, as you know, doing that. And that's when I come across yourself. And then since COVID, I've been more online. So, doing a lot of coaching online. I'm now lecturing at a college, Leamington College, which is awesome. It's got its ups and downs, but it's good. But for me, it's always been about how can I help people long term. No quick fixes, no kind of diets or anything like that. It's all about, right, how can we have long term positive effect on people that in turn have long term effect on their family, their friends.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the surroundings. Yeah, rather than just
absolutely.
Yeah.
And giving them the knowledge and understanding of how to do that for years to come.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
And my recent kind of expertise and focus has been around gut and brain health, because I'm a big believer if we can get those two things kicking on all cylinders
and working together
as they should, everything else then starts to fall into place. Like energy starts to increase, sleep starts to increase, your ability to train and exercise starts to become easier, or your ability to do that becomes easier. So yeah, many different forms, but I've always been coaching and around people.
Yeah, I love it. You've got a lot of experience in that sort of stuff, and I'm actually really looking forward to. I've got a couple of things that I really want to dig into. One was about Croatia, obviously.
Yeah.
For the wife's.
Yeah.
But no, there's lots of things I want to dig into, so it'll be wicked. But just to obviously, for the record of the gift for the show, tell us why you have your gift.
Yeah, it's only a small gift, but this means a lot to me, particularly since losing the gym and having diversify. So just before COVID, lost the gym. Yeah. Through a few things going on, and had to make split second decisions, and life happens. I then started to get into having to delve more into my mindset, and as you well know how important that is. And one of the things I started to come across, and it's bizarre how these things come across and you find things, Stoic philosophy. Yeah. How? I don't know. But people started to talk to me about it, or I started to see things.
Did you get curious about what it was?
Yeah, like I must have saw a clip of something, like a story or something on YouTube, and I was like, what's this? It wasn't a fact of me going, I need to find out about this.
Yeah, no one had told you specifically, yeah.
Just started to... so Stoic philosophy, and particularly Marcus Aurelius.
Yes,
all right?
I've heard of the name.
So Marcus, one of the 5 great Roman emperors. Yeah. And he learnt about Stoic philosophy from people like Seneca and Epictetus. And it's a way of life and a way of fortifying your mind. And Marcus Aurelius had many different things that he would say and do, and one of the things he would journal, like a lot of the Stoic philosophers do. They would journal on, not a diary, but they would journal on how they wanted to show up in the world. Yeah. And how they knew, one for Marcus would be, he would have internal battles. One of them being, why am I going to get up this morning? Why do I want to get out of the warm bed? And this is 2,500 years ago. And he's having this internal battle with himself going, why do I want to get out of bed today? Why should I get out of bed? I'll just stay here. It's nice and cozy. And this is the Emperor of Rome. Yeah. And he's journaling on this battle in his mind. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. And he would journal on, I know I'm going to come across people today that are really going to get on my wick, really going to annoy me, but there's nothing I can do about that. That's them. But it's also about, he was like going, I know I'm going to come across these people, so why am I going to get angry? Why am I going to get wound
Yeah,
up?
so it's like preempting that
Preempting.
thing
He knows it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So why am I going to expel energy on that?
Yeah.
And it really resonated with
It's
me.
actually quite powerful to think like that, isn't it?
Massive.
Because we're all going to get something of some sort of, behaviour that we don't agree with.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
And with the Stoics, they've got this thing of you have what you can control and what you don't control. There's just two things in life. And you don't control the externals. You don't control people, what's going on in the environment, in the world. Really, to a certain extent, you don't really have control of what's going to happen with your body. Like we can live well and we can make good choices.
You can guide it as well as you think, yeah.
But at some point, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we don't control that, but we do control this. We have control over this. So there's just two things, and I think that's very, very powerful.
Yeah, huge.
And I brought this coin, and I'm going to go and buy another one because I have this on me all the time.
Well, I feel very privileged to take it off you.
But I just didn't want to bring something that wasn't going to mean anything.
No, I appreciate it. Let's have a look.
Yeah, there you go. And it has...
So do you have this on you physically?
All the time.
I feel bad now.
No. And it says Memento Mori.
And what does that mean then?
So Memento Mori means, remember, you will die.
Right. So what's that directing us? As in, like, live life to its fullest, or
live
work?
every single moment like it is your last.
Got you.
And if you turn the coin over,
yeah, I'm just here now. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think.
Yeah. And I think is an amazing reminder whenever you find yourself complaining, moaning, woe is me, which we can all find ourselves in.
Yeah,
that's a great reminder. I know some people can see that as quite morbid.
No.
You know, it's,
you can actually see it how you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Let's be honest. If I'm not judging someone for thinking it's more morbid, but if you're thinking that way, maybe re-question how you're looking at things.
Absolutely.
So I love it, man. That's powerful. I'll stick it on our wall so you can always see it on.
That'd be ace. That'd be great.
If you don't get one though, let me know and I'll send it.
No, don't see it.
No, appreciate it, man. So cool. Like, let's dig in stuff, man. Because honestly, like, I love, like, obviously your journey that you've took so far and everything. But tell me, like the start for John.
Yeah.
How was little Johnny?
Yeah. Never been called that before. That's great. So I found things really difficult, like more like in sport and stuff, I kind of drifted towards it.
Yeah.
So that kind of made sense. Like if someone said, you may have been quite similar to this, like throw something, run somewhere, push something, pull something, swim, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Kick a ball, like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I can do that. But sit me in a classroom and trying to take on information, I found difficult. Just naturally, just like, is anyone else? When you're looking around going,
is anyone else struggling like me?
Struggling, or is this
Yeah.
So I always found
story of my life,
that really difficult, and being in school and leaving school with just literally 2 GCSEs.
So what were your GCSEs?
Art.
Yeah.
Because I could just like, again, that
do
form
it.
of do it.
I was going to say, it's probably just getting out what's in your head, isn't it? Onto.
I could just put it down and like kind of create, which like you do that, you create. I mean, look where we're sitting now.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And then I could PE. So I could, again, kick, run, throw, do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so everything else, maths, English, sciences, I just didn't get. Yeah. I just didn't get. And I was there all the time. Do you know what I mean? If I wasn't there, I'll be going, I can understand that.
But so did you struggle to focus, concentrate? Did you struggle to...
I didn't. I think what the thing was, I didn't understand and connect where it would help me and where it would take me.
Yeah.
Along with finding it naturally just very difficult.
Yeah.
So I didn't figure the dots. And sometimes I think education really is broken anyway. It's bizarre.
And that's coming from someone that's in education.
Who's in it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think we're doing the younger generations a disservice because it's still as it was almost like 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. Yeah. It hasn't developed. Like if you take any other business model, if it hadn't shifted,
you'd have sunk.
Gone.
Yeah.
But education has stayed the same. There's still bells in schools. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And you bring children in, you sit them down and go, take this in, take this in, take this in. Old bell goes, off you go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't learn like that. You don't learn like that. I bet you don't learn that. We're all different. And I haven't got the answers, but it's broken. And we're still asking them to sit and focus and take it in.
That the good people learned, so whoever didn't learn, we were labeled as bad.
Oh, we're a bad people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of? And I don't know if anyone's ever said it like this before. I definitely haven't, but it's just popped into my head. It's a bit like Slimming World. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So Slimming World, you get 50, I want to say women. I think that's a bit sexist.
Yeah.
Oh, you get 50 women. Yeah. Typically women go to Slimming World, right?
Yeah.
But you get 50 women that do Slimming World. Let's just be nice and simple. 25 get great results, 25 don't.
Yeah.
Now the 25 that don't are still suffering, and they go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah.
But that's because it fit the first 25, right? But
Absolutely.
I feel like that's the same with school, isn't it? Like,
absolutely.
If you get on, you get on. If you don't, there's no alternative.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's sad, isn't it?
It's kind of backed up by society then.
Yeah.
So then you've got this label of like, and you're constantly reminded, how many GCSEs you got?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that job then. You can't go to uni. I remember this. I remember very vividly something that sticks with me, and the reason why I'm saying this is because it morphs you into the person then you start to become, and that's why I have to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it centers me back, and it allows me to go, no, John.
Yeah.
You are capable.
Yeah.
And it's not this woo-foo stuff of like going, come on, you got it, and referring back to the good old motivation. As we all know, motivation is pretty rubbish as well, because it's
not a thing, is it?
It's not a
It's
thing.
not an object.
Ebbs and flows. It comes and goes.
Lost my motivation.
Yeah.
Well,
where's that gone?
Yeah.
So I always need something to come back to go, no, John, you have got what it takes, you know, and here's the evidence. So yeah, I left school really in that state of like going, wow, you know, what do I do now? And I fell into coaching. And
so did you feel a failure when you left school? Did you know what I mean? Where was your mind at that age?
Yeah, well, I had something. I did have something, and I had an idea, and I was like a lot of us at that age, I was going to like, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going to become a footballer. And I wrote a letter. This was back in the day we wrote letters.
Yeah.
And I wrote a letter to West Bromwich Albion chairman. Mad, isn't it? And he got back to me. He said, come in, and we'll do for a week, see how you get on, do some coaching, go out with the lads. And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I got on with them.
Yeah.
And then I found my way into that.
So that was for the coaching side as opposed to playing football, yeah?
Yeah. So I very quickly realised
You're not footballer.
I wasn't.
It's funny because I had a spell though. I played for Derby County.
Okay.
Their academy and went through there. And I got dropped because I wasn't tall enough.
Right.
Because I wanted to be a goalkeeper.
Okay.
Or I was a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I played at like, you know, decent level everywhere else, but then went there and obviously I was ready to then step things up and they're like, you're not tall enough.
Well, this is the thing coming back to mindset here. So I've come across players and people that you could argue had have no right to be at the level that they're at technically.
Yeah.
But they had something, and I wish I had it at that age. Whereas if I had a bad game, my mindset would be, you're crap.
Yeah.
And I told you were crap.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to happen the next game as well.
Yeah.
But I've, in my older age, realised that the difference was there was players and people that would have a bad game, would let a goal in or would make a mistake. But what they would do is they would have this ability to go, that's gone.
Yeah, move on.
What do I have to become better at? Where do I have to become better at? Like I don't know how well you know football now, but like a James Milner, who so technically, if you look at James Milner, has won Champions League, played for Liverpool, many other clubs, Man City, amazing. But technically, would you agree? Probably not at the level that many other players around him. But he had this dogged determination and a willingness to go, I'm going to be better tomorrow. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And that is priceless.
Yeah, no,
that
it
is
is
priceless. And some people just have it at that age.
I was just about to say, and it's not actually. They just have it, don't they? Because it's not actually. I mean, I'm not saying for everybody, but it's not something they've learned because they're too young to learn that as such.
Yeah.
Or maybe they've learned it, but subconsciously, or in a traumatized way, or in a
I think
a
you're onto some
forced way.
A subconscious thing going on there, where they're taking things, and it might be a parent, or it might be a family member, or it might be a friend, where things are getting in, and it's sticking. And someone said to them, "What did you do wrong in that game?" or wherever. It doesn't have to be football. And they go, "Oh, I did this. Okay, so what are you going to do next time?"
Yeah.
And that's where the gold is.
Yeah, no, of course it is. Yeah.
And if you didn't have those conversations, you'd just think,
I'm shit.
Yeah. Well, that's that then. I knew it.
Yeah.
You know, and you got nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that's magic. That is.
It is. I think as well with things like that, so often people will have that mindset of. I mean, we all know that you take on the mindset of the people around you, right? If your parents are like that, and unfortunately, a lot of the older generation were quite black and white like that, weren't they? Like, you're either good or you're not.
Yeah.
And you should be this, you should be that.
Yeah.
But I think as things have developed and gone on, people have realised that actually pushing it against that resistance is where you grow. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. Well, we now know where you find resistance and frustration and struggle, you're probably in the right place.
Yeah.
It's where you should be. We know that now, and I'm in my 40s. But I'm realising that now. Do you know what I mean? Over the past 5 or so years, like, oh, that's where I need to be. Right, okay.
But before it was a bit like, oh, that's hot.
Right.
I won't touch that.
Oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But saying that, this will stick with me forever. I fill up, so
go.
bear with me.
No, go.
So I was at Exhall Grange, and Exhall Grange in Coventry. I don't know why I'm reacting like this.
No, go. Enjoy it. Live with it.
It's a school for kids with a vast array of different needs, physical and mental learning needs. And it was awesome for me because they had a swimming pool and they had a big gym, and we could get the kids to do stuff like be active when they usually wouldn't be able to. We got them on bikes, like every single child, whether in a wheelchair or they couldn't use their legs, we got them like different bikes that they could use. So everybody in the school, there was 150 kids, could all use some form of bike. It was amazing. And I left and did the gym. Did the whole COVID thing, driving around in a white van for me dad because I had to do something. And then I went back as a mentor. We were just supporting kids, supporting the students. And this was through COVID and just coming out of COVID. And we got this lad came on, and he was held back a year. So he was in year 11, but he was a year older.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would have been 16, 17.
Do they do that nowadays?
Not really.
Right.
But because of the school, they made an exception because of the family and everything. So he'd gone around the whole country through different schools with his family, his mum, I think there was a brother and a sister. And basically they were trying to stay away from the dad. So the dad had particular needs and had been in and out of prison. And we're going here and there and everywhere trying to settle down. And this lad had many needs as well. So what's the shaken baby thing where they get shaken as a young child?
Yes, yeah. I do know what you mean.
It's called something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, he had that, and again, that brought on many other things.
Yeah.
Just psychological abuse and just unreal. And he said something to me one day, and I got really close to him, and he was an amazing lad, and he was really struggling in fights, couldn't settle. I mean, he was around drugs a lot of the time and a whole host of things. And he said to me, John, I feel I'm lucky because I know what I don't want and who I don't want to be. And this came from a 16-year-old lad.
I was just thinking, how old is this guy? Yeah, wow.
He knew, he had a clear vision of what he didn't want because he experienced it, lived it, seen it, and he could see what a dysfunctional family looked like. And he knew exactly what he didn't want. And so he knew exactly what he did want.
Because of the reflection.
Because of that.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
And how he was able to do that, I will never know.
No, yeah.
But
Well, I mean, it's a clear evidence of trauma and pain, isn't it?
yeah,
Which comes to the fact that which I teach a lot, is that pain makes us do things.
yeah.
And that's a clear.
Oh, absolutely, and I'll never forget that. And I when I see students now complaining around stuff, I do find myself having to bite my lip and go, just because your iPhone's not working, you're having a meltdown.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to find the connection here.
Yeah.
I can, because I've learned how to stay calm and reflect and come back to this.
Yeah.
That stoic mentality of find the stillness, find the calmness in all. So yeah.
But that is very powerful, isn't it? To think that somebody can come up with that that conclusion themselves.
Yeah,
and think
absolutely.
that's actually
in all of that mess and that chaos.
Yeah.
But what that gave me like so much.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the power that then that 16, 17-year-old saying that to me, knowing what he's been through, and going, that made me being able to go, John, you're all right.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah.
Like, and you're going to be okay. Like, the power that lad gave me was, and you can see, I'm struggling
That
to.
makes me feel. The things I think as well, it examples that the noise that we have in our life can control us so much sometimes that it takes you away from the real life.
Yeah.
And the real struggles that you're going through.
Yeah.
It's like so often when I speak to so many people about this sort of stuff, and what is the big problem right now? Whatever they say first is never the problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's just because of layer on layer on layer of noise. I like to call it noise.
It's noise. Absolutely.
I see it because I get a lot of noise in my head, right?
Yeah.
I get a lot of noise in my head, as in like just shit that I don't want to be there, or stuff that I can't get out of my head, or do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean,
100%.
it doesn't help like ADHD side of things, because I'm thinking of things whilst I'm thinking of things anyway.
Yeah.
But so that's why I always think about it as noise, and it's one of those things where like we've already got our own noise, layer that with everybody else's noise, layer that with the pollution of the world's noise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then actually
it's
it's like
that barrage, that constant barrage.
Yeah.
Here's a stoic one for you, Epictetus, who Marcus Aurelius learnt from.
Yeah.
We struggle more in let's get this right. We struggle more in imagination than we do in reality.
Yes, got it.
So, again,
Your bullshit is more powerful than real life.
So, and that's it's a full stop. It's a hammer to time. It goes, stop. We struggle more in our imagination than we do in reality.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, like it.
And then that brings the focus back to now.
Yeah. Do you know what that reminds me of? And I said this yesterday to somebody very directly, because somebody was struggling with X, what's going on now, blah, 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 And it's like, cool. It's like what you were saying earlier about what you can and can't control.
Yep.
Yeah? So, right, look, you either can or can't control it. Make your decision now.
Yeah.
Can you control it? No. Okay. Yeah?
Yep.
So then you go, right, so it's uncontrollable. So now you need to practice that, trying to not control it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But that's the same as that, isn't it? Like, it's that whole like, is it so the one for that is it bullshit?
Yeah.
Or is it reality?
Absolutely.
Like, have you made it? It's like you. Let's just say we've got storms now, and you're like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to drive home because it's bad, and this might happen, that might happen. Cool. It may also not happen.
Absolutely.
And I think so often people live on that, don't they?
Yeah, and we have to have tools, and we were saying earlier as well that we're drifting away from these tools of being able to have these full stops, whatever you want to call them, these line in the sand to go, whoop, hold on. Is it in your control or is it not in your control? So if it's not in your control, why spend all that energy that is limited, and into what am I in control of? And if I had those skills earlier on, I don't regret everything that's happened in my life, but it'd be very different.
No, of course, yeah,
Hugely different. And that goes for everybody.
Yeah, no, it does. You know what? I'll openly say as well. I've had last week. I said it to you earlier on. Actually, I've had a mini meltdown, if you want to call it, where I've been struggling on something that I need to make a decision on. When actually the most important thing is, what do I want?
Yeah.
And it's it's a similar sort of situation, like where I say these openly because I think people sometimes think I live a bulletproof life.
Yeah.
And I like to be honest with people.
Media
like,
for you, isn't it?
yeah, of course, and
people's perceptions.
yeah, but like fucking hell, we all struggle, and the stuff I've been struggling with recently, I've had to actually like have a bit of a snap out moment and be like, hold on a minute, what do I want?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's that difference between, again, reality and not.
Yeah. I have something that I do with the students, and it's what are your values? So, because what that does is it gives you very clear, like if it doesn't align with your values, you don't do it.
Yeah,
so we have 5 values and come up with your 5, and they'll evolve over time. But that's so powerful because making decisions, you can say, line in the sand again, that full stop.
Yeah.
Does that align with my values? Because if it doesn't, it's probably not.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do it.
No, I agree, yeah. Yeah, I've actually got this thing. It's slightly different but similar. But I've got this, and I actually wrote it myself because it was more powerful to write.
Yeah.
It just says, "Stick to your lane, dickhead."
Yeah.
And I've got it at home in my office. It's just on. I just wrote it one day and put it on the wall because that's something I often don't do.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And again, it's just like that little thing I say to myself sometimes when I'm trying to do something that's taking me away from, what I need or what I want to do. It's like, stick to your lane.
Absolutely, 100%.
Put dickhead on the end of it. It makes more power.
Yeah. Because it's a bit more personal, doesn't it?
It does.
I just want to stop you again for a split second. Now, you've probably heard me talk about Line Mind X quite a lot. If you are somebody that often goes through life procrastinating and not really understanding what to do next, you have these big goals, big visions, but then you all of a sudden lose your energy and not know where to turn next. Line Mind X is here to help you plan the shit out of your next 90 days. And that is as simple as it is. We work on your next 90 days, nothing else. And that's why it is so potent and powerful. We make sure that whatever you commit to in that 90 days happens, and we really drive everything forward. We count back from the 90 days. We work out your months, weeks, your days, and even down to the things you do in the day to make sure that you are doing what you said you were going to do, and you are electrifying everything that happens throughout that period, and you're crushing your goals. So if you want to learn more about Line Mind X, jump on the freebie that's in the link below, and you will be able to learn a little bit of understanding of exactly what we're about, and then you can take it to the next step if you want to. Speak to you soon.
I want to flick over it quickly just to put context on it, but obviously it doesn't need to. We don't need to go into depth of it anyway. But so you decided to close your gym as COVID hit.
Yeah. So it was literally 2 weeks before COVID hit properly, where things started shutting down, and I had to get out of last minute. I had to get out of the space I was in. So not a very nice situation to be in. It was like,
I guess you're questioning your life, weren't you? Like,
absolutely,
where am I going? What am I doing? Yeah.
Really emotional. I found it. Sorry, I can hear Slipknot in the background. I love Slipknot. Really emotional. You built something up, and like at that point, business was still like, it was still a small business. It was like hard. Like I was there all the time. It was like, it's like, and then that's just ripped away from you. Like, gotta get out, or you're gonna lose all your kit, all your stuff, everything you own is gone. So I ripped it all out, and that's no easy thing to do with a gym. And then I was trying to scrabble around, trying to find something, found something, and my dad said to me, he said, John, something's going on here. Like, just before you sign for this lease or whatever it was at the time, just take some time. And it was
Is this the COVID time? Yeah,
I was lucky I did, because it was the next day, government went, everything's shut.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was like a bad thing, but also
bit of a blessing.
Bit of a blessing as well.
Yeah.
So then, I had to find something to do. At the time, I was delivering. Got in a van and started to deliver. And sitting down all day doing that was just like, God,
complete extreme to what you did before. Like,
massively. And
so what was going through your head then? Because obviously you've gone from businessman,
Yeah.
Successful businessman.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate you were still managing your your direction, weren't you? Because
Yeah,
you wasn't
yeah.
happy with exactly how you ran the gym.
No, I wasn't. It was. I was still finding it struggle to find clients and things like that, to pull clients in and the right kind of client, you know, and how am I going to grow the business? Always being in the business and not working on the business, and then with my own self-doubt as well, you know, and then the whole self-doubt comes in. Yeah, we only left school with 2 GCSEs, John.
Yeah.
You know,
Little parrot on your shoulder telling you
what do you
how
expect?
shit you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, the confidence not being there and everything else, and then finding myself in a, you know, traveling around the country in a van, picking TVs up and things, you know, which is fine, but it's not what I wanted to do.
No, it's because of your mentality and type of person you are. You cracked on and did it.
Just did it, yeah.
But
Yeah. And I tried to keep clients online. I was doing the home workouts,
Yeah.
which just crushed me even more because
Yeah.
it wasn't my philosophy. It's not what I'm about. You know, I'm not about jumping around the living room doing star jumps.
You know when you say that, I just visioned back to me and Sarah in the garden. It was sunny, wasn't it? Because it was really hot.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were like laptop on the bloody the tables in the
Yeah.
garden and
Yeah.
fucking doing some
Yeah.
shit workouts.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah loves them. And
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
You know, they're just move like lots of sweaty moves. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But for me, it was like, oh my god.
Oh, it's horrible. And I was driving around the country and then getting back in time to do that.
Yeah.
So it was just a real bizarre time.
Yeah.
You know.
How did you pull through that though? What do you think got you through that? I mean, I know we was all in the same place, right, at this point. So because it was like we were grinding, slating the government every day, thinking it was all a hoax. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was all
yeah.
sorts of things going on, weren't there? But what got you through that? Like, what was the light at the end of the tunnel? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's. I was always clear on my why. So my why was, I know I can help people. I know I've had this wealth of knowledge, and I have this ability to communicate with people and get the best out of them, whether that's a child with physical learning difficulties in a school, or a mum of 3 who has no confidence and lost the confidence through poor health or whatever, and is just trying to make it all work. I knew I had this ability to connect and to help. So I always had that. I always knew that I could make a difference, whether that was working in a gym or then online, which is what I'm doing now as well, or back in education. So I think that was my blessing, that I knew I could make a difference. You know, and don't get me wrong, I was going through at that time, as many people were, self-doubt and everything else, and everything was a mess. How am I going to pay the mortgage and everything else, you know? But I did have those skills to fall back on, to go, hold on, John, no, but you can still make a difference here. You know, you have this power almost.
Yeah. Do you know what I see when I look back to that? Harsh but true words. The strong survived. Yeah, and when I say strong, I don't mean, you know, physically strong. I mean as in like the people who were able to see an opportunity and adapt through the times survived.
Adaptability. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
The guys, and you know, and I'm not laughing at them, but you can't help but sort of like understand why. But the guys who were, you know, crying about it and you know, I don't mean physically, but you know what I mean. Like they were in that victim mentality of like,
absolutely.
you know, the world's bad, the world's collapsing and stuff.
Yeah,
But that's actually what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
that's a big truth of life, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
you know, when you
I definitely found myself in that position for some months.
yeah.
Going, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? But I think that's where those deep underlying skills come in, because through all that whole time I was still training. I still found a way to exercise or, you know, challenge myself.
But you needed it, didn't you?
I needed it, you know, and then I found, you know, Stoic philosophy and different mindset structures and meditation and journaling and the importance of being outside and going for a walk, as if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I had those subconscious skills and awareness that pulled me back,
Yeah.
you know, and had me grounded me,
Yeah.
you know, and gave me that line in the sand moments again,
Yeah.
you know. And so many people don't have that now.
No.
Don't have that ability to press pause and to sit and be still, to be quiet, you know. and to see what's in control, what they have in control of, and what they don't have in control of.
It's funny because we were talking earlier on before we started filming, and it's something that I wanted to go into, but with that whole being still, being present, grounded, and the ways of looking at things of like you say, just taking a moment and being with yourself, I really, really struggle with. And I've found ways to manage it and find it in other things, but I can't find it in that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, for example, quite simply, reading, I can't find it in that. I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Like even watching films, I used to be sitting there stressed.
Yeah.
I've got better at them. I mean, I was saying to her, I'm watching some on Netflix now, but I force myself to do that. 2 reasons. One, so me and Sarah sit down and spend some time together.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like we're spending time together because we're watching something, but you're watching something together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But secondly, so that I'm actually not, because if Sarah takes a piss, because if I lived on my own, the lights would be off and I'd be working, and do you know what I mean? Because it's just that whole like boring lifestyle of that's all I do rather than live. Yeah. But that's why I do things like that. But I struggle to. I mean, it's like meditation. I'll do small bouts of meditation.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more about the energizing heavy breathing than meditation is the beneficial
This
thing.
is the powerful thing, and this is a place that we find ourselves in now because of so much information out there and so many ways that we can learn stuff. We're almost like, so and so said this, so I got to do that.
Yeah, of course.
And like, no, what we've got to do, and we're in an amazing
Find the same thing.
Find the thing that works for you. And I've said it in a few of my videos online where I'm like, what feels good to you? And if that feels good to you, as long as it's not harming you or anyone else around you, do that thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that goes for any kind of form of exercise, whether that goes for meditation or breath work, if breath work's your thing, whether it's going for a walk, like, or reading, like, find the stuff that aligns with you. Because as you know, with exercise, the people that get the most out of any sort of movement and training are the ones that can be consistent at it over time.
Agree. What time do you get up in the morning?
5 o'clock. 5 a.m. Yeah.
Right. So I was going to take the piss and throw something at you now, but you get. So David Goggins says get up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd say about 7, so I'd call you a failure. Right. But David Goggins, get up at 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually do get up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Be interested to know why you do actually. But
yeah.
So if you don't get up at 5 o'clock and David Goggins says that you're a failure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's
Absolutely.
that thing again, isn't it? Where so often people go, but he does that and look at him. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You've got to think about the outcome of what it brings you rather than the input of what you
100%.
do.
100%.
Yeah? Why do you get up at 5 o'clock out of interest?
So I get up at 5 o'clock to create time so I can. The mornings for me, and I teach this my clients, it's all about you. It needs to be all about you.
Agree.
You need to be the lion. You need to eat first, so you can then eventually at some point look after the pride and everyone. So I get up early because there's stillness. There's no emails. The phone's not going off. Distractions. And I can eat the frog. So I eat the frog first. So I do the most challenging thing first.
Do you actually start with that, yeah?
So what I do is I get up and I move. I hydrate.
Yes, right.
So I do some lemon, ginger, probably some organic honey, just to settle the gut. I'm going into gut mode at the moment, but
we'll talk about gut.
Yeah. I do that. If I can and the weather permits, I go outside, natural light into the eyes.
Yeah.
Summertime, obviously. If it's not, I turn the lights on, get light into my eyes. I
normal light or sad light?
Normal light. Just if it's dark outside, just normal light.
Yeah.
They do some great light alternatives now. That
well, there's the sad lights, isn't there? You know what?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to buy this really romantic present for Valentine's Day. Now, I'm going to buy Sarah a sad light.
Okay.
We had one a while ago and it actually broke.
Okay.
She suffers with. I'm not saying I'm diagnosed with SAD, but she suffers with that in the winter. And I said to her literally yesterday again, let's just get a sad light again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. So move body, get hydrated, and then I'll do a bit of journaling, bit of meditation. Journaling is just another level for me, massive. Just who I want to show up in that. I have 3 questions that I ask myself is, what is the one thing I'm going to get done today? And that's really powerful because it's not a to-do list.
No.
It's the one thing.
A big mover.
It's the one thing. And that might be to be present with Alice, my wife, today. To make sure you are present today. Or it is to train. Or it is to phone dad. Or the one thing. The next one is what you're grateful for, because as we all are, I want this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this.
you forget
what have I got now?
Yeah.
What have I got in my life now? And that's powerful. And then what is the one value and principle I want to show the world? So that I want to show caring, I want to be loving, I want to, be understanding, So I do those, and then I eat the frog, and I do the one really, probably the thing I don't want to do, and I do it, because then the rest of the day,
You're a hero, aren't you?
It's easy.
Yeah. It's funny that you say, so when you said first you swallow the frog, I was gonna question you, why did you do that first, but you don't, you do it at the end.
Yeah.
Now it's really funny, isn't it, this, because I once got taught to do that first, because and you know what, I'm not disagreeing with this idea, because if you do that first, it's the one thing you don't want to do first. However, I agree with you. You need to serve yourself before.
Serve yourself first.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. If you can't show up, you can't show up for anyone else.
Yeah.
So I do all those other things: the movement, the meditation, the breath work. And by the way, I'm not expecting everyone else to do this. You find your own format,
100%,
your
100%.
own way.
Do you know what? I've got the urge to share mine with you today.
Go for it, yeah, do it.
So this is my bulletproof day, right?
I've started seeing this.
Have you?
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
I've
cool.
been sharing it a little bit. So I call it bulletproof day. Yeah?
I like it.
So it's day 44, it's 13th today, right? So I'm actually sharing this live with everyone as well.
Yeah, it's cool.
But 3 things that I'm grateful for: Sarah working hard,
Mm-hmm.
the close gym crew.
Yeah.
Just reminding me last night, because I popped in last night and just had real good chats with loads of people in here, and also my gym.
Yeah.
And then someone on your positive impact today, John.
There you go. Lovely.
And this was not planned. But yeah,
That's brilliant.
podcast guest, meeting, get to know. But yeah, and then what I do is I do yesterday's big win.
Yeah.
So feeling control again, because that's stuff I've been going through recently. Something I didn't complete, my programs I need to get done with that. 3 things I did this morning was walk, journal, and then coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then tonight, Netflix, sauna, and then my drink that I have before I go to bed.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I didn't know what that was when I
The
saw
Neuro
it.
PM.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Strom. It's a little plug for Strom.
Oh, okay.
Shows how much I wash this, because
it.
it doesn't say Strom anymore. But yeah, no, it's their state calming type of drink. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But things like that are so powerful, aren't they? And I actually wanted to share that for everyone, because I know sometimes people question, like, well, what does that mean? What does it look like? And all that sort of stuff.
And look, some mornings I ain't getting up at 5 o'clock.
No,
I just
of course.
know, like
Yeah.
that. I've got to bed a bit later. Sleep
Shit
hasn't
goes
been
wrong.
great. Stuff
Because
goes.
it's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
And you're not a failure.
absolutely. And David Goggins does not get up at 5 o'clock every single morning.
No, does he?
Because life happens. He's a human being.
Yeah.
But more people need to hear that.
Yeah, no, they do, and that's exactly why I brought that up, because it's really powerful, isn't it? Because at the minute, I don't know if you've seen it, I've got a little puppy. I say at the minute I've got a puppy. I'm not planning on getting rid of it. I mean, I don't know, actually. He's pushing it.
No. What is it? What?
French Bulldog.
Oh, wow.
The cutest thing in the world,
Beautiful.
man.
Yeah.
He's the only dog I've ever let lick my lips, which is really weird, really weird, but I just really fell in love with him. But no, anyway, he's really testing, yeah? Obviously, I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Wow.
So it's like in the house at the moment with that extra little shit, as I'll call him, is actually really quite hard. Completely forgot why I was saying that now. It took me off
But
track.
sometimes, because of all of those things,
It becomes
that
stressful.
routine
Yeah.
may not happen.
No,
and
no,
you
of course.
want
Yeah,
it
that's
to
where I was
happen.
going. Yeah, and the other morning, like, so I've been struggling to get my morning routine back. So I've had to bring my morning earlier, like what you're saying there, to make sure that I actually get it in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's having that adaptability.
Yeah.
And be open-minded to that, because that's life. Like, sometimes I can't sit and do my breath work and meditation, but I could sit and, let's say, I'm going to do
Be calmer.
be calm,
Yeah.
or I'll just do 5 or 4 physiological sighs. Do you know the physiological
No,
sigh?
go for it. No.
So, physiological sigh is the most quickest and easiest way to snap out or move towards your parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we
want to be. Yeah.
where we want to be. It's more rest and digest. Sympathetic nervous system has a place, but as we were suggesting earlier, we are in it all of the time.
Yeah.
So so the physiological sigh is fill your lungs up through your nose to the top.
Yeah.
And then when you don't think you've got any more space,
Go
you
again.
go.
Yeah.
And then you exhale. everything out, like literally everything out. And then you go again. And I like to do that 3, 4, 5 times. It's the quickest, easiest way to have that physical and mental switch back in towards that parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
And that takes me a minute, if that. And that sometimes that's all I have. That's fine.
But I think it's where you're going with here. It's that 1% better than you would have been if you hadn't have done any of them.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you can't do your bulletproof day that you've planned, and then at least do something better than
What it's like, it comes back to what are you in control of? What aren't you in control of? Well, I have a minute. So what have I got with that minute? So with that single parent with 3 kids, working a couple of jobs, I haven't got time to meditate. No, but you have got 60 seconds just to sit and just be mindful and just think about your breath.
Yeah.
Or do 5 physiological sighs. Just do that.
Physiological size.
Yeah, physiological sigh.
Yeah, like it.
Huberman talks about
in
it.
all fairness, I've done that exact same stuff before, and that's why I finished your sentence for you, because I knew you were going to say take an extra.
Oh, okay.
But I've done that, plenty of times before. It's that I always say this, and like obviously when you take, if you say to someone take a deep breath, and they go, that's their natural point of what they think their deep breath is.
Absolutely.
That's how I sort of like project it, and then it's like and go further.
Yeah.
And even further again. But what we're doing is we're opening out our diaphragm, which,
Absolutely.
let's be honest, people don't do often enough.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Especially when you're like, find yourself crouching over and.
Yeah.
But secondly, you're not going to push yourself to that point because it's beyond what you think you should be normally doing. So actually, it's breaking that pattern, isn't it?
Because if we're in the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, we're hunched over, we're probably stressed. What happens when you're stressed with your breathing? Short and shallow. Probably in through the mouth.
Yeah.
Like that, you're going into an exam or, you're just stressed because of life. You forget how it feels to fill your lungs to breathe. Absolutely.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why it's so powerful.
And as well, you're not thinking about your breathing. And actually, I'm actually doing a really clever loop here, which I didn't mean to do this. But you're not, so you're stressed, yeah? You're going into, like you say, you're going into exams, something like that. You're not thinking about your breathing. You've got short, shallow breathing. You're thinking about this task you got to do. But actually, if you take a moment, this is my loop that I didn't mean to do, but I'm doing, to stop and think about your breathing, first of all, you're going to increase your oxygen intake and actually then, like you say, calm your nerves. Yep. But secondly, you forgot about you're not focused on that thing, and that's doing a two-sided coin.
Or it's taking you out of, again, the stuff that's bombarding you that you're not in control of. The noise, the to-do list, the emails, and really your focus needs to be over here, but it's all over here. And that breath work or whatever it is stops.
Just stops it. Yeah.
Okay, here I am.
Yeah. Do you know something and you know what? Literally, this happened yesterday. So I'm being very open and honest today because I quite like where we're going, and I know it's, I get some insane feedback from people that when they hear this sort of stuff. But so yesterday, because of the stress I've been going through recently with some changes I'm doing in my business and stuff, I felt very tight-chested, stressed, this, that, and the other. I came to the gym last night. I walked in my gym bag and my drink, put my drink on the side, put my gym bag down. I had 2 trials, showing them around the gym. Then I worked my way around talking to all the members, right? This is why I wrote down saying how I'm grateful for the close gym members. I walked around and they were all taking the piss going, are you training tonight? I was like, I was, but now I'm not. Right? And the reason I'm telling people this is because, first of all, we all have those fucking days where I was just too stressed to train. Yeah. Right? And I'm the sort of person, some people are different here, but some people try and make themselves different here, and I don't think I agree with doing it. But some people try and say if you're angry or stressed, then train. Now, if that works for you, great. But if it doesn't work for you, recognise it and don't do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because first of all, you can get injured.
100%.
Secondly, you won't fucking present yourself in a good way, and then you'll probably drive home feeling like I've had a shit session. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When actually, for me, like genuinely, openly saying this, I walked around the gym last night, I had a good catch up with loads of random people.
100%, yeah.
And I felt fucking great. I went home and I said to Sarah, and we always say this term of, give your head a wobble. And I said to her, I felt like I've given my head a wobble now. Yeah. And all I mean by that, and what we mean by it, which I'm sure you'll grasp anyway, is you broke that cycle.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, you've interrupted your pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got that skill to go, okay, well, if I had trained, this is probably what the outcome would have been.
It'd have been shit.
It was rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm completely with you with training and stuff like that. There is a point where it's diminishing returns
100%, yeah.
massively.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, yeah, like if you're a bit angry, a bit frustrated, yeah, go for it. But, you know, you do get to a point where probably going in and interacting and talking to someone or going for a walk or seeing a loved one, come on, that's where your energy needs to be.
It's just connection, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
as cheesy as it sounds. But I think as well, you know, for me, over time, I've realised that the more I've come away from the gym and had less connection and stuff with people in the day, I mean, I have connection fucking every single day. And if I open my phone now and show you, like, I've got tons of messages to get back to and all that sort of stuff. But that doesn't become a connection because it becomes serving a purpose.
Yeah.
So, and it's important, and I won't stop doing it, but it doesn't become my satisfaction of a connection. So actually, you need to go out your way and do that. And something I've realised recently, and I literally wrote it down on my list of things to reassess this week, is that I need to plan in more like that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like these podcasts we have on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It just feels so much better. I mean, connection, and this is the big thing that we're facing as a society now, and with the younger generation, not all of them, don't want to hit on all of them, because there's some good bloody kids there that have got a lot of talent.
We've got one here.
We've got one here. You know, but they are losing that connection.
Yeah,
and it's not just because of that, but it's part of the reason why there's so much more. I hate the term mental health now because I think it's. What does that mean?
What does it mean? No, I agree. I agree.
But while we're facing so many challenges with internal health, and physical health, and you know, quality of life, because no one's connecting like this. Do you know what I mean? And I can go into college and they'll be sitting in the dark on their phone, and there might be 10 of them. No one's talking in the dark.
It doesn't matter because they've got the phone. They're on twat chat.
Yeah, so
it's only because I'm not on it.
I never heard that one. But connection is one of the what's the pyramid called? And at the bottom of the pyramid you have the needs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's named after someone. Forgot it.
I'm going to find it because it is going to.
And one of them is, you know, at the bottom it's shelter, water, connection.
Yeah.
The only reason why we're here is because we were in packs. We looked after each other.
Yeah.
If we were on our own, we wouldn't have survived.
No, I agree.
These millions of years, you know, and that connection that you had in the gym that night, and having that instead of training, served you.
Yeah, more than going into the gym. You know what? As well, just to throw in there as well for anyone that this helps to think about, when you're exceeding your limits in something. Not everything, but most things have to be in good order. And again, people don't see that their brain is one of those things. Yeah, their mood is one of those things. And if that's not in good order, how can you execute a plan? Yeah,
everything else falls down. You're building it on sand.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and if
it's a little bit like going to war with somebody that's not fucking like in a good place. Well, they're not going to make good decisions.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean?
And I think like when I'm working with a client, you're probably similar. Like one of the last things you start I'm talking about general population clients.
Yeah.
Probably the last thing you start talking about is training.
Yeah, of course.
And like calories and macros. Like.
Yeah. But yet they thought that should be the first.
That should be the first. Like the first thing is like, right, how does your day look now at the moment? If you're saying to me you're highly stressed, highly anxious, overwhelmed, low energy, like I ain't going to talk to you. I ain't going to get you in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, so what does your day look like? What are the limiting factors that are pulling you into that position? So let's start addressing that. So can you go for a walk? Really, John, am I paying you to tell me to go for a walk? Yes, I am.
Yeah. Well, did you do it before? No. Right. Well, then do it.
Yeah. Can you just do it now?
True,
I haven't got no time. Have you got 5 minutes? Well, yeah. Break. Yeah. Just do that outside.
Yeah.
Leave the phone. Just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Do some breath work. Do this and the other. You know, call a family member that you haven't spoke to in months. Like, That's the power.
No, it is. It
like
is.
going into the gym and trying to smash it is like going to break you and add to.
That's only going to happen if this is in place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Um,
but that as well is what LMX is about. So obviously we've got 5 Flames of Life. I'm sure you've seen
Yeah, I've
bits
seen
of
it. Yeah,
it.
it's
Like,
awesome.
obviously one of the flames is training, but it's a bit like I would much rather work on the rest of the flames of people, and the training will fall into place eventually. One of my guys not long ago was going through a really shit time with his missus and stuff, and you know, she cheated on him and you know, they had a bad time and everything, but he was swallowed by her thinking that she was his everything.
Yeah.
She was his everything still, and he couldn't get out of that. You know, he couldn't detach from that, and I get it. Yeah, it was his norm and what he was used to. But and then I said to him, I said to him honestly, I want to tell you straight up, you're spending too much time on your phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, go to your Snapchat. He went to Snapchat. I was like, go to your Facebook. He went to his Facebook. I was go to, and he was so fast. I was doing it as a bit of a joke.
Yeah,
to him.
yeah.
He was so fast at knowing where it was without
Yeah.
even concentrating. I was like, the fact that you can get to it that quick just shows that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then I said to him, I said honestly, I was like, if he's listening to this, he'll laugh. But I was like, can you do it with your eyes closed? He was like, I don't know. I was like, close your eyes. And he did it.
he
Do you know what I
did
mean?
it. Yeah.
And that's that thing, isn't it? Right? It's like
Yeah.
if you can do it with your eyes closed and you do it naturally, then you're doing it too much.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're living on anxiety because your life's all
Constant.
about your phone. Yeah,
Constant.
and it's such a.
Yeah.
I actually went to a retreat a while ago. And I said to everyone before the retreat, I said everybody put their phones into it was a woolly hat. Don't know why I had a woolly hat, but everyone put your phones into a woolly hat. Yeah, and I've tied it up with what do you call them?
Oh, yeah.
Zip wire. I
Zip
think.
wire.
Yeah. Is it wire? Tie wire, whatever it's
Something
called.
like
Yeah, I tied it up with that just to make sure, because we didn't have any scissors on or anything. I was like, literally, no one's getting the phone back until the end of the day. But everyone focused on what we was doing.
Yeah.
But it still put them in a weird place because they're just, it was out the norm, wasn't it? It was
Absolutely.
like, I need to check on my missus and see.
Yeah.
You know what
Absolutely,
I mean?
yeah. And look, we need it. We just need it, and it's a skill that we're moving further and further away from. I've done it with students, 16, 17, 18, even 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, mature students, and I can ask them for their screen time, and I'm shocked. And it's between 12 and 14 hours.
Do you know what? I wouldn't know what good or bad is, because I know quite a lot of people will check it, don't they? But I actually don't check it, so I've never actually analysed it.
Well, do you know what?
I'm going to do it live.
I think go for
Go
it.
on.
Yeah.
What's good and bad? What is it?
Well, what I was going to say was, I think a better way to look at it, right? Obviously,
I don't know where it is.
I
bet you can go.
screen time. Here you go. Daily
I'll let
average.
you announce it.
Do you want me to?
Go.
Sure.
Yeah.
5 hours.
It's not RedTube, is it?
No. 5 hours and 8 minutes.
So is that
Daily
my
average.
total
That's your daily average
daily average
on your phone. Now you
What's that
may.
based over 30 days or something?
So that is based over. Does this say? Hold on.
See this with vulnerability. I'm getting completely called out on a podcast.
That's your weekly
Yeah.
average. Is
Weekly
5
average
hours.
5. Where's that in comparison to what you know? Again,
So with
I've
students,
not looked at it.
I'm getting 12 to 14 hours.
Fuck you know.
Yeah.
But still, to question that 5 hours seems a lot.
Yeah, and
But then a lot of mine, and this isn't a cop out. A lot of mine
Work
though,
related.
but it's helping people on. So I spend a lot of time back and forth on
you've
social
got that.
media.
Here's a better way to look at it instead of just hours. And this is why I say to students, clients, where in the day do you know that you won't have the phone?
Yeah.
So for me, I know that first 2 hours or first hour really of the day when I get up
Your
at 5,
time.
there is nothing.
Yeah.
And that is because I want to be present. I want to be focused on me. I need to serve me.
Yeah.
And that's not serving me.
Yeah.
Even if I have got important emails coming through, like I'm not looking at it, it's not there. That's going to wait.
No, of course. It can be important when it's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's an hour in the day where from 12 till 1, say, I'm eating or I'm walking, I'm not having the phone. And then a lovely one that I think more people need to have to improve their sleep quality, you'll know this, is not to have the phone at least an hour before you go to bed.
Mine's 8 o'clock. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it slips past because it just happens. But
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's a better way to look at it, and informing that and supporting that skill of I'm in control. There's times when I use technology to do what I need to do, and there's times when I don't. And I think that's more powerful than trying to bring the time down.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's something you're controlling rather than...
It's controlling me.
Yeah,
I
agree. I want to briefly touch into, actually, because I don't think I've gone into it enough, but the lecturing side of things.
Yeah.
But then, just so people hold on to the end of this, because the brain and gut health is really fucking powerful. But just quickly on the lecturing side of things. So obviously you work within what are the ages of your kids?
Yeah, so at college with anything from 16 up to 20, 21, like some mature students who've come back to college, some extra qualifications, or just to do their maths and English as well. So they might have left school.
Yeah,
and
didn't have them.
They can do a health course as long as they do their maths and English as well.
Yeah.
So it tops them up. But what you've got is everyone needs to be in education until they're 18, which is great, but that's not for everyone. So what we're finding is we've got students on courses that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
So
are they doing it just to tick boxes then? Is that what you mean?
Tick boxes, don't get a job, don't need to get a job. They can get their maths and English, but they don't really want to do this course along with that. And what you're finding now is you've got a lot of demotivated students on courses that they don't want to do, unfortunately. And we're having to try and get them through it as best we can. And you can imagine what kind of attendance is like. Just willingness to work can be really low.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Right? Because someone could argue and say that's your opinion, but I'd also agree with it's factual as well, isn't it?
I'm seeing it.
I'm
seeing it, and I'm only telling as it is. And there's a lot of them in there that could be like me or you, where your power, your strengths are out there doing, being with people, working or doing something and helping people.
Yeah.
But you're sitting here doing this course,
grinding away at something
you don't want to do.
Well, that's where I was going though, because obviously it could be someone's opinion to say that, but obviously you're saying it factual, right? But what do you think? Because you're going to change the world from today,
yes,
right? But what do you think should happen? Because you're right. I struggled in school. I ended up being a complete dick because it was the only way I got attention. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of children going down that route.
Yeah.
And I was the class clown. And I was really funny as well. But you know what I mean? But that was my aim, to be the funniest, most outrageous person.
It made you feel good.
Because I couldn't do the thing that we were trying to do.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What do you think that the schools and the government could change to actually fix, or even manage that?
Well, that's a big, massive question, and I'm not sitting here saying I've got the answers. But one of the big things for me is we need people to be able to do stuff. Who built this in here, if you don't mind me asking?
This room?
Yeah.
Me.
Right, okay. So you can do a lot of stuff. You are able to give to the community. This whole thing that you've created here, you're giving to the community and the wider community. And I think for a lot of students or young people, they need to be able to go out and feel like they can do something and feel good about that.
Sense of achievement.
A sense of achievement and a purpose.
Yeah.
And then also the life skills of having to show up on time, having to be somewhere, having to communicate with somebody, having to have when I can chill and then be on my phone and when I need to be here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And we're losing that. So instead of telling everybody, because again, we're tainting everyone with the same brush, you got to go to college until you're 18. Well, how's that going to work? For some people, that's going to be great. That's exactly what they know what they want. They want to become a nurse. They want to become a coach. They want to become a plumber. That's where you need to be.
Yeah.
But the ones that don't, they need to go out and do something, and
that stimulates them.
And stimulates them and do some graft and just see how hard it is for them to go, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work in McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with that. But they realise I don't want to work in McDonald's. I want to be an artist, or I want to whatever. And that's what they needed to do, that thing to then go, right now I know what I want to go and do. Because I don't think it's good enough. However old you are, to not have any idea what you like to do or want to do. And people shoot me down for saying that because like, oh, you don't know at 15, 16, 17 what you want to do, 18 what you want to do. No, fine, but have something.
Yeah.
Like go for
But
something.
also, then the question is, have you even explored to try and find
have
it?
you? Yeah,
that's the
and a
thing,
lot of the
isn't
time when I've asked them, and I'm asking them quite frequently, they've not even thought about it.
it?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't matter yet to them.
Yeah, or like
It's
it
not-
takes effort. Like
yeah.
it takes a bit of time just to think about what you
Yeah.
want to do. And
Yeah.
like we had that amazing opportunity, like being growing up in a world where you could be bored, where it gave you that space to go, so what do I want to do? What can I do? And unfortunately, we're living in a world now where that doesn't happen.
Too busy. There's no time to be. Yeah.
Well, there's always the distraction. There's always something else to do, and therefore you have no room and space to think about what you want to do.
Yeah. No, and it's tough, isn't it? Because with the people that are actually, like, say, I'm sure I said this earlier on about the whole slimming world thing. Yeah, I did, didn't I? You know, the guys in school that fit well, crack on. Ones who don't fail.
Yeah.
So actually, it's like, okay, now what do we do with these guys? You know, now I get it, right? If you give them every chance and then they take it, they blow it, they take it, they blow it. If that kept happening, then I get. But at the same time, eventually they will fall into place.
Absolutely.
You know,
You'll
like
find your
people are
way.
stimulated in different ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I said to my nephew yesterday, so I seen him, he's, I want to say 12, forget ages, don't you? And I said to him, you know, 'cause I'm not seeing for a few weeks. I said to him, what you think about, you know, where do you want to go with things and stuff? He said, I want to be a labourer like Bricky. Do you know what I mean? Even just saying that, I was like, amazing.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I was saying to him, like, you know, a job like that you can never get lost because you always need that type of job, you know, like a trade and things like that.
But he's got
But
something
at
to
least
shoot for.
He may not do that,
Absolutely.
but he said it.
Yeah, and he'll get there, and he might be.
Hate it.
Yeah, might hate it.
Yeah.
And then he's going like, I don't. So I know.
And that
don't
comes
wanna
back
do
to your
that.
16-year-old. Yeah.
Absolutely, he
Yeah.
had clarity. I don't want to do that. So what do I want? You know, and so many. And I was saying earlier that I'm not hitting on this generation. I think they're really powerful. I think it's amazing opportunities that they've got. They can do stuff that I can't even start to
Well,
comprehend.
let's be honest. They've got everything. They've got more than we've ever had.
Unreal. And I see it as a sleeping generation, like a sleeping giant, where they're almost just asleep, and they just need certain skills that we talk about to bring them back into the here and now, and then they can utilize those other skills that they have got. They're just asleep. And I'm seeing it daily. I'm seeing it on a day-to-day basis where they're hooked into the matrix, you know, and they just need these skills to bring them out, wake up. Okay. Wow, I can put these skills that I've got into play.
Yeah. No, I agree. But it's that switch, isn't it? It's that finding actually what it is.
Yeah, and then it's
what they
finding
can-
and then it's, you know, connecting with them on a level that they are receptive to it. And I'll go, I hear you, John. I'm going to give that a go. And I do see it. So a lot of them, I see them coming in with Red Bulls, and they live on Red Bull and Monster and caffeine and whatever else is in the stimulant in them. And I talk about what it can do, what it's doing to them, what it's stopping them from doing, like sleeping well, energy, concentration, and everything else. And without them saying anything to me, I do see water bottles appearing, you know, unless...
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily telling me that they're making a change.
No, but
I
they've
can see
decided
it.
off their own. Yeah, because
that's awesome.
they've absorbed that and gone,
Yeah.
I'm going to make it.
And that's
yeah.
powerful because it's not me going, you will not eat, drink that, you will have this. It's
Guiding
empowering them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I love it. Let's go into the brain and gut, because I know a lot about this sort of stuff, and actually I've got a bit of stuff I want to throw in, but also ask you questions on, because your knowledge is a lot deeper as well. But when it comes to the brain and the gut, why is it so powerful to understand that they work together?
Well, they're directly connected, so from something called the autonomic nervous system. And within that nervous system, you've got something called the parasympathetic and the sympathetic, which we've suggested already, we talked about. Within the parasympathetic, you've got the vagus nerve. So there's this direct link from the gut to the brain, and that's where the terminology of your gut is your second brain. Okay. And I am a firm believer of progression, and for 2.5 million years we've been on this planet in some form, and we've fed off the land, and what we've eaten and how our environment has supported us to be here and now. So if you stop looking after the gut, you stop looking after the brain, you stop looking after the brain, you stop looking after the gut, everything else starts to fall down. And we are seeing that now, more and more so now, with the negative effects of poor quality food, processed food or ultra processed food, and then also the environment which we're finding ourselves in. Poor sleep, technology, no daylight, sedentary lifestyle. So what we're doing, we're moving further and further away from where our gut and our brain needs to be to function at a place where it allows us to function optimally.
And be best energized and everything else.
To be as best as we can possibly be. To be the best human, not just physically, but cognitively as well. So I was just drawn to it naturally. It wasn't a day where I thought, oh, I need to know about the brain and gut health connection and all of that. It was just like naturally looking into it and going, oh, hold on, this is powerful. Whoa, like this is where it needs to be. You know, because then essentially if I'm going to get someone to go into a gym and start training and stuff, we need their brain and their gut in a position to let them to do that. You know. So that's when I started looking deeper and deeper into it over the last 4 or 5 years.
For me, I've always noticed, so obviously every single person that I've worked with, right, and you'll know this and you'll go through this yourself, but right, I want to get strong, or I want to get fit, or I want to run 10k, I want to do X, Y, Z, whatever it may be, right? If you are not obviously working on your brain and your you know, your absorption, let's just call it, of all the different areas of whether it be the positive things from the outside, negative things from the outside, you know, the food, everything. If you're not focused on this, you can't achieve this anyway. But people still grind away at this, don't they? And they're still like, oh, change the program. The program's not working. Change your stance on deadlift because you're not. Do you know what I mean? And it's slightly funny / frustrating.
Absolutely.
When people are like change, and they are literally not thinking about this side. And that's why for me, I've completely switched my coaching methods, you know, to now. But would you say that is more important anyway than your training?
100%. If we are going, so we're living longer. I mean, up until recently, that's actually started to drop. Actually, we were, you know, living more and more people living to become centenarians. You know, 100 plus. But what we're finding is people may have been living longer, but the quality of life is diminishing. So you've got more and more people in care homes. The biggest killer in our world is type 2 diabetes, heart disease, which we created. Which we have created that
through time.
And the other one is Alzheimer's and dementia. By the way, 1 in 10 Alzheimer's and dementia sufferer, 1 in 10 it would have come from a deep underlying DNA family strain. It was there. Okay, the other 9 of that 10, it was because of their lifestyle and nutrition. The links are there. We're seeing it now. The studies are there. So we're doing this to ourselves. So if we don't address the environment and our health, there is no anything else. It doesn't. You're on sand. You can't get traction. You're not going anywhere. So I'm with you. We need to start at the foundational point of looking after the individual with their cognitive function, skills such as we've mentioned all the way through this conversation of being able to get back into your parasympathetic, your rest and digest, and the kind of foods that we need to eat, sleep, everything else, before you even start thinking about going to the gym, you know, or trying to run a marathon. I mean, all that stuff's great.
No, of course it is. But and it's also what's needed to stimulate people to work hard.
A goal, an outcome.
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. But let's educate and let's really empower people here now to go. That stuff will come, and it's great to have that goal. Let's sell it. Let's get clarity that this needs to happen, and even more and more so now. If we go back to the younger generations, I'm worried. You know, I'm not sitting here to kind of like worry people or shock people. That's not what I'm about. But like, I'm just saying,
it's only gonna
get worse here, and it's really worrying.
Yeah, I think the worrying thing as well there is the fact that it doesn't matter what we say, and it doesn't matter how much we scream and shout about it. People are not willing to. Some not willing to listen, and also people are not willing to pursue the things you need to do to get to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And again, unfortunately, you know, the younger generation now, it's actually not their fault, and that's the.
No,
that's
it's not.
You know, I always think about it like this, right? So you've got let's just put them into 3 categories, right? You've got your old school people, right, who typically graft hard, worked hard, worked every hour, you know, paid the mortgage off because that was the wise thing, and blah blah blah. Nowadays, it's the complete opposite, right? Don't pay your mortgage off because you don't get anywhere with it. You may as well invest into things and make more money. But that was completely off track. What I'm saying. But then you've got your middle people. I always see where there was like a blend of that old school mentality, but blending into this new mentality. And they was able to be saved.
Absolutely.
But then now, the way I see it now is the mentality that we've got in the new age people, most of them can't be saved.
Yeah, well, I think like we always have to have an idea that they can, because we can't lose that hope.
No, of course.
But I know what you're saying, 100%. And again, it's not their fault, because we have never ever seen this drastic increase of change in such a short time. In terms of technology and the way our world operates. We've never seen it. I mean, you come up with, you know, if you went back to creating the car, there's been a gradual progression from a horse and cart to a car, to the development of a car, to what we have now. And we've been able to manage that and go, oh, I can see the progression. Whereas you've got generations now are born into a world where they're not got the tools to cope with it, and then before they know it, by the time they're 6, it's different already. It completely changed.
They've got to actually adapt again.
Why you're telling me what? You know, and you've got, and even more so with AI and all that coming out the bag now. Like, I don't know how education is going to look in the next 6 months, let alone 2 years.
Well, it was said, wasn't it, on I want to say on the news, but I don't even watch the news, so I don't even know what I'm on about. But it was said, wasn't it, that people are using AI, is it AI or Chat GTP to do their homework and stuff, aren't they?
But here's the thing. Why wouldn't you?
Is it for them?
So
no.
If the technology's there to go,
why wouldn't you
ask the question, and it gives you, why wouldn't you? As a 16, 17-year-old, why wouldn't you?
I agree.
Now, unfortunately, what's happening, this is what there's a reason for this conversation. So we don't understand AI. They don't. Younger generation doesn't understand AI. So if you were to have greater understanding, you would go, right, I can use this to better my knowledge. I can ask it a question to go, oh, I didn't know that. I can write about that, or I can develop that. But what's being used, because it's been so quick, it's a way of just getting the answer.
Yeah, but you're chopping out that self-development.
You're chopping out the self-development because you're just getting the answer.
But as well, that's where people, I mean, not to take us off topic of this, but that's where people say, oh, it's going to destroy the world, blah, blah, blah. So will fast food.
Yeah.
Eat it every day, and that will destroy the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, eat it randomly every so often, and it will be okay. So again, with the AI, you could look at the same thing, right? I've not used it. I mean, the lad who works for me, George, he loves that sort of stuff, and I think he just geeks off on it more than anything, and then he's used it some things that have been really cool. But if you run your business on it, again, it's then taking it away, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not developing yourself.
No.
You're not
relying
learning
on it,
from. You're relying on it, and we've got to be really, really careful. And I think coming back to where we're finding ourselves now, we need to learn, we need to educate, we need to understand what are the fundamentals of health. And this is what I love. Health is like the it's all there for us. because
Yeah.
we've been here for 2.5 million years or so.
Nothing needs to be redesigned.
It's all there.
Yeah, I agree.
The signs and the patterns are there.
Mm.
So when I'm start talking about gut health, we're talking about, like, you basically want to create a rainforest in your gut and your intestines.
Yeah.
So if you look at a rainforest, there's a vast array of multiple different plants, trees, an array of life.
Mm.
And what the ultra-processed foods or processed foods at any level, what it's doing is basically deriving our gut and our intestines of that rainforest.
Mm.
So it's stripping it away,
Mm.
almost a bit like us as humans are doing to the rainforest today.
Yeah.
It's stripping all of that nutrients and that life out, which then has that direct effect to our cognitive function. So it sends our gut sends signals to our brain to go, we're under attack here. We need to recoil. We need to look after vital organs, and we can't flourish. We can't go out and do, basically. So it comes back in within itself. So we need to come back to the fundamentals of what that food looks like, and it's stuff that came out the ground, off a tree, out the oceans, or ran across the ground. Now, if you're vegetarian, that's fine. You go to the ground, you go for the trees. Through evolution, we can see brain sizes increased when we were eventually able to hunt, particularly for fish, the omegas, more B vitamins. We can see that structures of the skull increased because of brain structure increased because of those new nutrients when we're able to spear things and hunt and catch things. So again, if we didn't do this stuff, we wouldn't be here now.
No.
We just,
which means it's still there.
It's still
and
there.
It's still available to live that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But progress so quickly to processed foods, our bodies are going, whoa, what is this? I can't process this. So it's stripping all those microbiome, those good bacteria out of the gut. Okay. And then you start getting things like leaky gut syndrome, where basically food particles and stuff are getting through the gut lining or intestine into the blood and into the bloodstream, and then all kinds of signals.
Ultimately, it's poisoning you, isn't it?
Poisoning you.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff is getting through something called your blood brain barrier, and this is a barrier that kind of like, it's almost like when you go to an airport and certain things can't get through. You know, through customs and stuff. Yeah. Well, that's what the blood-brain barrier does. And sometimes it allows stuff through, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it lets stuff through it shouldn't really. Yeah. And it's finding it more challenging to stop things that shouldn't be going through because of the vast amounts of that's going through.
In effect, that is
shriveling your brain.
Right.
And when I say that to students or to adults. They look at me like,
that's not possible.
But it is. We are seeing a shrinkage in brain size,
and that's because it's not being fed properly.
It's not being fed right. And through poor quality food, okay, but also poor environment skills. So always being in a stressful state, chronic stress state, no sleep or poor sleep, no exercise, sedentary, no sunlight. All of these things are shrinking your brain, basically. And one of the biggest breakthroughs we've had with brain and cognitive function is the understanding of what sleep actually does for us now. Before, not so long, about 15 years ago, we didn't really know why we slept. Like, it was just a rest.
I need to go down, and
go again. But now we find when we get into good quality sleep, and this is the skill, this is the task. Good quality sleep, that deep sleep, where we dream and really chill and relax and recover. Our brain does something where it basically cleans itself. There's a cleaning system that goes on where it takes these toxins that have got through the blood-brain barrier, through the environment, through nose and through poor lifestyle habits, through food, and cleanses it, gets rid of it, or gets rid of whatever it possibly can and needs to. Basically.
But it only happens at that deep state.
And again, what do you face with a lot of people? I don't sleep very well, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm fidgeting. I go to sleep late. And so the brain hasn't got that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm quite big on my sleep because, one, I'm a ratty twat, if not. But also for the whole, repair, growth, and everything else that for training and everything. But I wear a sleep mask every night.
Yeah.
I listen to spa music. They're my like go-tos of what I do because, you know what I mean. They're my little, methods, if you like, to help me sleep and make sure I get a good sleep.
Yeah, and when we're talking about sleep, we always have to come back to the quality of sleep.
Yeah, of course.
So I always talk about...
You can have a short quality, can't you? As long as
absolutely.
It's really quality.
The quality needs to be there. So I always talk about pre-bed routine, and you'll have a pre-bed routine.
Yeah.
Where you do something, where you're sending signals to the brain to go, oh, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So...
stopping phones at 8.
Phones, technology, get that away. That blue light.
Yeah.
Tricking the brain to think it's daylight.
Yeah.
We are bringing the lights down.
Yeah.
We are doing triggers like a warm decaffeinated drink, possibly some nice dark chocolate, soothing, get a nice bath. Basically, what we've got to remember is, how would you put a child to bed?
Yeah. It's really funny you say that because I was literally going to say the same thing. Yeah.
We've got to do the same thing because that's how then when you put your head on the pillow, there's a better chance that we're going to get that quality of sleep, and we're not just going to sit and lie and just toss and turn.
For anyone that, for the humour aspect of this, right, just think about this, it just popped in his head. If you're a parent and you have a child, you'll know what that stage is like of going through all that.
Yeah.
Just imagine for a moment, playing loud music.
Yeah.
Flashing a light in your baby's face.
Yeah.
And then putting them down and
expecting to go sleep.
Do you know what I mean?
Mad,
Like the humour of that, like it's like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what you're doing by scrolling on Facebook. And let's not even forget as well. That was a very light version of what I just said to do to that kid.
Yeah.
Absorbing all that negativity on social media.
Yeah.
The subconscious thoughts that come through your head because we just get them. All these different emotions and.
You've had caffeine in the afternoon or the evening, and now it's dropped you off a cliff.
Yeah.
And now you're all over the shop.
Yeah, adrenaline might be kicking in because obviously it's trying to battle that drop.
So can you see?
Yeah.
And people need to understand, going to the gym's the last of your,
Yeah.
This is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it is. It's powerful. So what would you say, because to wrap up for people, I'm not going to put too much pressure on you to say a certain number, but say 5 things or something like that people can do to improve their gut health to benefit their lives and their energy and things like that. Because let's be honest, we get so many people, don't we, that say, I haven't got the energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I always go to, we need to stimulate, but you also need to recover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Because you can stimulate fucking forever, but if you're not recovering, and then that stimulation is not really going to work anyway. But what would you say as a couple of
so there's some fundamental basic things that you can start being more aware of and being able to bring in. Now, I'm not saying at all you can never, ever have, you shouldn't have any fast food, or you can't have a takeaway ever again, or you can't enjoy a meal out again. I'm not saying that. I always like the 80-20 rule. 80% of your weekly intake is from single ingredient foods, 20% from processed foods.
Whatever you want.
Enjoy. But there's some really nice things that you could do. So what we're looking for is variety. We spoke about how we're here now, where we had a variety of things from the ground, out of trees, variety. So building up that variety, and the easiest way to do that is to bring colour into your nutrition. The easiest way to get colour, fruit and veg. So I like to, with my clients, is whenever you're creating something, and it's easier said than it may sound, it's easier, 4 to 5 colours within that meal.
Yeah.
All right, and that may be berries of some sort, blueberries, raspberries, whatever it may be. Veg, particularly dark leafy greens, amazing, spinach, kale, broccoli, as much colour as you can, because you're diversifying as well, and you're feeding the good microbes in and adding to them. Okay, so 4 to 5 colours within a meal wherever possible. Okay, ferment.
And as well, just to throw that in
Yeah.
there, you know, if people think, oh, that's hard though, what do I put? Some berries on the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying that because a lot of people go, well, if I'm having, you know, steak and this, that, and the other, it's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Well, you could walk into a Sainsbury's local and grab some protein, because that's the other one.
Yeah.
We get some protein with each meal because
Yeah.
we want to look after the muscle mass we've got for long-term quality life. Okay, it's going to be satiating as well. It's going to make you feel fuller for longer.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can grab a load of berries. I can grab some nuts and some seeds or something, and whack some mixed leaves into a bowl with my protein. I've got 4 to 5 different colours there, and I may grab an apple. So it is easy.
It is.
You know,
You've
it
got
is
to think
easy.
out of the box.
Absolutely. And then the other one is, and it's becoming more and more to light now, is fermented foods. So the reason why is because they have living bugs in them and a vast variety. And I'm not talking about the little Alpen, you know, or, you know, little bottles. They've only got one kind of healthy microbe in there.
Yeah.
We want a vast array. So things like kefir,
Yeah.
okay, things like natural yogurts, kombucha, sauerkraut, you know, all those kind of things are fermented over time. I'm going to have a vast array of these healthy gut bugs within them that are going to just allow our gut to thrive, basically, as well. And that can a simple one for me: a natural yogurt, some mixed berries, some peanut butter or something like that, a pea protein in there if you wanted to that.
Just mix it up.
Just mix it up.
Is one a day enough?
Yeah, I'd eat fermented food every single day. Yeah, absolutely. Some sort of fermented food.
As in for one of your meals, yeah?
Just one of your meals, you know, which, you know, a snack or something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Slowly.
Yeah. And the other one is your B vitamins, your B12, B9s. You're going to get that from good natural fats. So your nuts, your seeds, going back to the ground again. Or if you eat fish, then good salmon fish, mackerel, salmon, small fish like, you know, your prawns and that kind of thing, shellfish as well.
Yeah.
If you don't eat fish, then get what the fish eat. So algae. So go with your algae supplements or something like that as well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that's going to really give you B vitamins, your omegas, that are really going to then make your gut thrive, but then your brain function as well. So I go protein within each meal, 4 to 5 colours, fermented foods, and don't forget your B vitamins, your omega-3s as well. And they'd be my staples.
Yeah. You know, when you think about the amount of foods and stuff like that as well, how are you teaching your guys?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if you just do what you've just done there, I mean, we know just because off the top of your head, you know this stuff. Like, there's a decent amount of calories involved because you've got good fats and you know. But how are you on guiding calories? Because obviously everyone has that hook to calories, don't they? How many calories do I need?
Well, for some people, like, I know they're in a position, and you'll be like this. You're good to go physically and mentally to cope with macros and calories. And we can set some calories and macros up, and we know that that's not going to scramble your brain, and you're going to be calm and good with that, and you've got enough understanding to do that. But there are some people that may have been through diets and stuff that have got a poor relationship with calories and macros. So then I like to just go portion control. Okay, so for I say normal person who's busy, family, business, that first meal, I love to get that mainly protein, fats, a lot of colour.
Yeah.
A little bit of carbohydrates if you want, a slice of toast if you want it. But then protein, size of your palm, your fats, size of your thumb. Guys, they probably want to double this up if they wanted to. Carbohydrates, good form carbohydrates with rices, potatoes, sweet potatoes as well, oats, that kind of thing. And again, anything from the ground. A fist size to cupped hand. Again, guys, large guys might want to double that up. And then the rest of your plate with dark leafy greens.
Yeah.
So I would portion that.
Because that doesn't need to be as specific. It's just...
No, exactly, and it's just portion controlling. And then also not eating to fullness.
Yeah.
Like, can we... That's a real great skill to have.
Digestion-wise, yeah.
Can we eat to like 75, 80% of our max? Because I think there's a lot of power in being able to control until you feel full. I don't believe that we are fit for that.
No, I agree. Yeah, and also with the stress of life and all the different things, it's actually like quite hard then, isn't it, to be like, right now, digest this big massive meal.
Yeah, absolutely, and then carry on with the rest of your day. You know, because we've got to remember then when we're eating, that's a big stress response that we're putting on the body. Our gut has got to break this down and get it to the places it needs to get to, and that takes effort
and energy.
Effort. Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Well, mate, look, we've been through a hell of a storm today.
That's been a journey.
But no, I really, really appreciate your time, and yeah, it stimulated me to think of a lot of nuggets as well. So I'm sure it would have a lot of people as well. But where can people follow you or work with you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, sure. So it's my business is the Strong Life Club. So if you go to stronglifeclub.co.uk, you can find the website there and a bit more about our programs and what we do. We've got the podcast, Mind, Body, Happiness podcast. That's on Spotify at the moment. Love to get yourself on that one as well, for sure.
We'll have a spin-off.
Definitely. And yeah, socials, you'll find the Strong Life Club. That's where you'll find us.
Yeah, love it. Well, guys, look, I'm sure you all got a blast off this. Give them a follow and obviously contact. With your programs and stuff, are you working with people online only?
It's all online at the moment, but as I suggested to you earlier, that I want to have more conversations. Hopefully we're going to have a physical place as well. As that as well.
Yeah.
So,
but either way, drop him a link.
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, I appreciate your time. It's been really, really good.
Cheers, pal. I've enjoyed it.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers, mate.